In this video, I'll teach you the procedure to create an isometric drawing using AutoCAD software. In AutoCAD, you can work in isometric planes and you can create a two-dimensional representation of a 3D object. Such drawings will not be 3D models, but it will be a 2D projection of such 3D objects. I'll teach you this concept by creating this isometric drawing. If you want to activate the isometric drafting mode in AutoCAD, you have to activate it from the status bar toggles. So you can just click on the customization button and see whether the isometric drafting mode is activated. Here, the isometric drafting is enabled. Now when you look at the status bar, you can see that even if it is enabled, it is not active. So I'll just click on this button to activate it. Alternatively, you can also give ISO draft command in AutoCAD to activate this mode. So when you give ISO draft using the keyboard, you will get options like orthographic, isoplane left, isoplane top, then isoplane right. Now isoplane left is the default. You can select orthographic to come back to the normal mode. Now you can see that the isometric drafting mode is disabled. I'll activate this mode again. Now you can just click over here and you can choose the plane in which you want to actually work. Now I'll activate the left plane, because when you look at this figure, you can see that this is the isometric left plane, this is the isometric top plane, and this is the right plane. Then I'll start with the line command. Now the snap mode is on. You can turn that off. Now you just make a pick here. Now when you look at the cursor, you can see that the x-axis is represented using the orange color and the y-axis is represented using the green color. Now I'll start from a point. Now my ortho mode is on. Now this distance is 50, so I'll give 50. Next I'll just zoom out to see the entire line within the screen. Now I can move rightward and I can give a distance of 35. Now I'll come downward and I'll give this distance of 20. Then again forward and I'll give a distance of 25. Now I'll break the line here. Next I'll repeat the line command by giving an enter. Then I'll draw another line from this endpoint. And we have to find out this distance, and the total distance is 75, and this is 25 plus 10, 35 plus 10, 45 minus 75 will be 30. So I'll give 30. I'll move straight upward through a distance of 15. Then I'll move rightward 10. Then downward 15. Then downward 15. Then rightward 10. Then upward 5, then rightward again 25, then straight up 10, then I'll come back to this point. Hence I have created the left plane of this 3D object. Next I'll work on the top isometric planes. All the dimensions to create the lines are given here. So I'll again start with the line command. Then I have to switch my isoplane to top. You can just click on this arrow and you change the plane to isoplane top. Alternatively, you can also make use of the F5 function key to toggle between the isoplanes. Now I'll click over here, then I'll give a distance of 60, then 35, then 15. Then I'll move straight up 20, then 30, then 20 again, and I'll connect with this endpoint. Now again I have to switch my planes to isometric right plane. For that, this time I'm going to make use of the F5 function key. Now the plane is changed to right. Now give enter to repeat the line command. Pick a point here, then 20, and you can connect with this endpoint. Again, you can start from here, 20 down, then 15 and 20. Then you can draw another line from here with a length of 20 down, and you can connect with this endpoint. Then one more line from here and you can connect with this endpoint. Now you are actually working on the right plane. Next I'll switch over to the top plane to create this particular face. So I'll click on this arrow and I'll go to top, repeat line. From here the distance is 60. Then you can connect with this endpoint. Then from here again 60. Now I can copy this line to these endpoints. Now I have to connect these endpoints. In fact, that line is parallel to this left plane, so you can just switch over to the left and go to line, and from here to this endpoint and to this endpoint. Then you need few more lines here which are parallel to the right plane, so you can just click here, then you can activate the right plane, then you can draw a line like this, then one more line from here to here, then this extra portion you can just trim off. So I'll click on trim command, just give enter. These are the edges to be trimmed. This is actually a projection of the 3D object on the 2D plane, and hence by switching between isoplanes you can create an isometric drawing. Next we will try out this figure. When you complete this figure, you will get an idea about the procedure to create isometric circles and isometric arcs. So we will start with this rectangle. I'll go to line command and I'll start from here. I'll pick a point here. The distance is 20. Now I'll just zoom in to see that line properly. The present isoplane is iso left. So I'll give 15 as the next distance. Then 20 upward. Then I'll come back to this point. Next I'll draw a line with the length of 10 units in the right plane. So I'll go to line and I'll activate the isoplane right, and from here I'll start. Distance is 10. Then I'll move straight down through 20. Then back to this point. Next I'll construct this line with the distance of 30. So I'll give enter to repeat the line command, and from here, and I should work on the left plane. So change the isoplane to left, 30. Then you have to move 20 units down. Then I'll come back to this point. Next I'll give copy command and I'll copy this particular rectangle, and this is the base point and this is the second point. This rectangle can also be copied with this as a base point and this as a second point. Next we can clear this area by performing a trim command. So I'll go to trim, just give enter, cut down these lines, and this line can be erased. Next I'll create a line with a distance of 38 units. Then I'll draw another line from here to here, and you know that this distance is 15 plus 15 plus 30, which is 60. And from here I'll come back to this point. So I'll click on line to create the line command, and from here I should work on the top plane. So change the isoplane to top and give 38 as the distance and 60 in this direction. Then you can come back to this point. The same line can also be copied and kept at the bottom. So I'll click on copy, and this is the base point and this is the second point. Then you can copy this line and you can keep it over here. Next I should create an isometric circle with a radius of 15 units and an isometric arc with a radius of 30 units. In order to create the isometric arc, I'll create an isometric circle, then I'll trim off half of it to create this arc. You can create an isometric circle in AutoCAD using the ellipse command. So I'll give ellipse using the keyboard. Then here you have an iso circle option available, and you can see this option only when the iso draft mode is active. So now I'll click on iso circles. Now it will ask you for the center of the circle, which is this particular midpoint. Now I should work on the top plane, so you can change the plane to top. Now you can see that the circle is created on top. Now you can give the radius as 15. I'll give enter to repeat the same command. Now click on iso circles and pick the same center point. And when you're asked to give the radius, you can either pick a point over here or you can give 30 as the value of the radius. Next I'll use trim command to trim off the bottom half of the circle. Now give an enter and trim off this portion as well as this one. Next, this line you can erase. I'll select this object and give erase. And this line I'm going to copy onto this side. So I'll go to copy command, and this is a line, this is a base point, and you can actually pick on this quadrant. Okay, this is a quadrant of that particular arc. Now this portion is actually a copy of this arc. You can give copy command, select this object, and this is a base point and this is a second point. Now give trim, just give enter and trim off this portion, and this can be erased. And even this line is not required. And this line can also be erased. So this is how you complete such a figure, which is made up of isometric lines, circles and arcs. Next, we will see the procedure to create text in an isometric drawing. To write a text, we make use of the multi-line text command. But before that, I'll change my color to a green color. Next, I'll go to Annotate tab and I'll select multi-line text command. It'll ask me for the first point. I'll click my first point over here. Now I'll turn off the object snapping. Then I'll go to rotation option and I'll give a rotation angle of 30 degree, because you know that this particular edge is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to the horizontal. So I'll give 30. Now it'll ask you for the opposite corner. I'll pick the opposite corner somewhere over here. Now I'm asked to give the text. I'll give the text as isometric right. Now I'll select the text, and here I have a formatting option and I'll give an oblique angle of 30 degrees. Give an enter. The oblique angle can be used to tilt the text. Here I gave a 30 degree as the angle. Now it's written properly. Now you can align it with respect to the center of this face. I'll go to Home tab and I'll choose Move command. Turn off the ortho mode and I'll click my second point here. Similarly, you can write the text on other faces as well. Let's try to make the text on the top face. So I'll go to Annotate tab, choose multi-line text and first corner over here. And I'll pick the opposite corner over here and I'll give a rotation angle of 30 degree. Pick the opposite corner point over here and I'll write the text as isometric top. Then I'll select the text and I'll go to formatting option and I'll give an oblique angle as -30. And just give close to exit the text editor. Now you can move to align it properly. Next, I'll write a text on this particular face. So I'll go to multi-line text. Click the first corner over here. Then go to rotation. A rotation angle of -30. And click to define the opposite corner point. Or I'll write the text as left view. And I'll select the text. Go to formatting and you can give an oblique angle of -30 and close the text editor. I'll move to align it properly. So this is how you create text in a 2D isometric view in AutoCAD. Isometric drawings are extensively used in the area of mechanical engineering. By learning the procedure to create 2D isometric views, you can create various mechanical drawings such as the isometric views of mechanical components and mechanical assemblies. I have provided a number of mechanical isometric views below this video. You can try out those figures on your own. With this knowledge, you can also create P&I drawings or piping and instrumentation drawings. For example, if you want to create this valve, you can set the ISO plane to right, then you can construct these two vertical lines and you can connect these two endpoints using two cross lines. And you can make a block of this particular valve and you can reuse it any number of times at any desired locations. So that's all about making 2D isometrics using AutoCAD software.